Hey everyone, I'm really excited to show you a new series of videos that I'm doing for you. We're going to be taking all of the Word Wielders, all of the characters in the game, and we're going to be breaking them down for you individually and showing you their skills, their blessings, and their abilities as they level up and progress through the campaign. This is also going to help you when you start playing alternate missions because you're going to earn these abilities out of sequence. But we're going to show you the rules, how they operate on the board, and just give you a little insight into each individual character. So I hope you guys are geared up. Here we go. All right, everyone. So here we are. As you can see, I have the game set up. Today we're just going to go over Peter. So this is Peter's character card. As you start right here, you can notice that all of his refinement levels are covered with the cover cards. And I'm going to go through each one of those now. If you guys are worried about spoilers, you want to be surprised by these things, you know, you probably shouldn't watch this video, but this is for people who just want to kind of dive deeper into each character and their abilities as you're playing the game. So to start, we're going to talk about their starting weapons, their abilities, what they can do. I'll show you an example on the board. And then if they have any extra abilities, such as on their armor settings, we'll talk about that. Some characters do, some characters don't. So with Peter, his very first weapon is called the Weight of Mercy. It's a blunt weapon, and it says, if equipped, you have the gift Burst. That means as long as this weapon is equipped, you have the gift Burst. I'm going to read that to you right now. So, Burst. Roll a white six-sided die with your guard rolls. If you successfully guard a strike from the same zone and your white six-sided die is equal to or more than the strike result, the attacking darkness / monarch is automatically hit. This is considered a melee strike. So I'm going to give you guys an example of how that works. So if you do have Burst, normally when you're blocking, you would roll this. This is your faith die. That's how you block. That has to meet or beat this die here. That's the enemy die. Now you're going to add a d6 if you have Burst. So when you roll that dice and you successfully block, if this die meets that die's number, you get to remove the enemy from the board. I'll give you an example of that in play here. So when you get the game, you're going to have the miniatures for the characters. Now, this is Peter's miniature. As you can see, it's ready to paint. It's highly detailed. It's awesome. But just because it looks better on camera, I'm going to use a painted mini for all the characters that we're doing for these videos. So this is what Peter can look like if you go ahead and decide to paint him. So the Weight of Mercy, we're going to try to target the enemy that's in his zone. So Peter's in this zone, there's a suffering there. I'm going to take a shot. Let's just say I miss, and I do. Peter gets to block. He's going to take the green, the red, and the white d6, and he's going to roll these all together. Now, if he blocks successfully, which he did, because the enemy is a 1, 2, I got way more than that, and my white die is higher than my red die, that means I actually hit that enemy with my shields and remove him from the board. He is destroyed and forgotten. So that's how Burst works. Now let's talk about Peter's other starting ability that he has. Peter has the gift Petra. Now this is active no matter if you put armor on this slot or not. So even if you put a piece of armor, like let's just say you have the Wings of Heaven on there, you have that ability plus this ability. It says Peter always has the gift Petra even if this slot is covered. Now Petra, when guarding, you may re-roll your faith die once if the total is not enough. This does not stack, meaning you can't combine it with the same rule twice. So if Peter's guarding and you roll low, you get one more shot to roll again, hopefully getting a better roll, which we did there. So that's Petra. Now we're going to go over some of the refinement levels. Actually, we're going to go through all of them. So as you progress through the game, you're going to earn new abilities. Each ability is going to reveal one of your refinement levels. You're going to remove this card, set it off to the side, because you may need the burden as you're progressing through the game. So remove the cover card. When you earn your first ability, it'll say reveal your blue refinement level, and this is the first rule that Peter gets. Now keep in mind, every single character has a different refinement level for each level, so no two characters are the same. So with this one, Peter starts off with Reprieve. Once during a chosen phase, you may spend an action to swap your wielder with another wielder in an adjacent zone. If you are webbed, remove the webs. If it applies, auto/spawn strikes will happen after the swap is resolved. So let's say you're in a situation where Peter is adjacent to another character that's in some trouble. So Samsonia over here, she is in a zone with an active breach, a bunch of darkness, and the Prince of Doubt. She's in a lot of trouble, especially if she's in there during darkness phase. Now Peter, with Reprieve, can spend one action, you flip over your action token, and swap places with the character that you choose, as long as they're adjacent to your zone. Now, once Peter's in there, because he moves into a zone with an active breach, that means that active breach is going to spawn strike, meaning a card is going to come out and he's going to have to block the strike back from that enemy. But that's how Reprieve works. Now, if Samsonia was webbed, her webs would be removed when this ability is used. Let's look at another one. The yellow Refinement level, which is the Helmet of Salvation. Now I'm going to read this to you. You get an ability called Intervention. This has become a fan favorite. This cannot be done if bound. Spend one action to move, then choose a target and make a combat roll using an equipped melee weapon. This will also work when targeting webbed players and shackles. This cannot be interrupted. Auto/spawn strikes will happen after combat ends. So let's just say Peter is back over here with Samsonia. So we're going to put him back over here. Now he wants to target this sickness. He can use intervention by spending one action, and he can move and strike at the same time. So you would roll to hit. If you manage to successfully hit, then cool. But make sure that you're using a melee weapon because it can't be done with any other type of weapon. So he can move and strike for one action. But let's just say he moved into this zone over here, tried to take out this enemy, and he missed. The strike back would happen. After all combat is resolved, this active breach will still attack him. So those things happen after the combat is resolved. Now keep in mind, the main campaign, you will earn these abilities in a sequence from left to right. When you play any of the alternate games or even PvP, you're going to earn these abilities at random or through searching them out one at a time. So let's go over Heaven's Strength. If you miss when using a melee weapon, you have a -1 strike boost. Also, if you have no burdens, you have a +1 light boost. If you have a melee weapon equipped, which he does, he has a -1 strike boost against the enemy when he attacks. So if he attacks and he misses and the enemy strikes back, this die is reduced by 1, making a 6, a 5. If he has no burdens on any part of his card, he also has a light boost, which will increase his light die by 1, so making a 19, a 20. Let's look at the next one. Unbreakable. This is a good one. You have a +1 faith boost when you have this ability. This ability stacks with other faith boosts. Also, if another wielder in your zone guards an attack and it fails, you may make a guard roll at that moment to guard for them. This does not take an action. If your guard fails, you suffer the effects of the attack. Does not stack with itself. Meaning, you can use other faith boosts, but not this ability twice if you happen to get a weapon that gives it to you. Let's just say Samsonia's in here and Peter's in here. She tries to attack the Doubt. She misses. She does not block. Peter can jump in at that moment and block for her. Now, if they strike back and they hit him, he now takes the effects of it. Doesn't take an action, you can do this out of sequence. And you can also do this ability during darkness phase. Let's look at the next one. If you earn the purple Refinement level, which is the Breastplate of Righteousness, you gain the gift Joyful and a Promise Kept. Joyful, during a chosen phase, you cannot be hit by spawn strikes. This means that if Peter moves into any zone that would cause a spawn strike, such as an open breach or even the pit, he will not get spawn struck, meaning a card does not come out and he does not have to block. This only works during chosen phase, keep that in mind. Now, a Promise Kept is another ability that Peter has. Suffering in this game will take your weapons if you miss. They are nasty, they will break your stuff, it goes into the discard pile, and they're very difficult to get back. So, if you have weapons you really like and you want to go after Suffering, you don't have to worry about them taking it if they strike back. You do still receive the burden, but they do not take your weapons. This is a really good way to use Peter tactfully when dealing with big hordes of Suffering and people who are not willing to sacrifice their weapons. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, when you get towards the end of the campaign, you will be earning the Belt of Truth, which is your black Refinement level. This will give you endurance. You get to add an action token to your action pool, giving you 4 actions during the chosen phase rather than 3. And last but not least, you have your white refinement level. Now if you get to the very end of the game and you reveal this ability, you are going to be going into a major fight. Now there's 2 ways to earn your white refinement level. You can progress through the end of the campaign and earn this ability and have it for the remainder of the game, or if at any time during the game, at any time at all, you roll a 10 on your faith and the enemy rolls their highest strike, which is a 6, it's called perfect faith. You automatically destroy all darkness in that zone and you gain your white ability, your white refinement level for the remainder of the game. Peter's refinement level is Emmanuel Melee. For every darkness hit with a melee weapon, remove 1 additional darkness of any other type within the same zone, SP any. You cannot remove 2 of the same darkness type. Let me give you an example. So let's just say Peter is over in this zone with Samsonia, and he wants to attack this group using Emmanuel. He can hit this top one. If he's successful, he kills it, but he can also remove any other enemy of a different type, which I'm going to take sickness because there's also another doubt in there. The doubt remains behind. And that is it for Peter, you guys. Remember, every time you equip a weapon or an item to your character, all those white boxes give you other abilities and other skills that you can mix and match with your abilities that you have in there, giving you just pretty much an endless supply of tactical advantages and or options. So keep that in mind. You're going to build this armory as you go and equip weapons as you see fit. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Keep in mind that we're going to be doing more of these videos, 1 for every character, so that's 9 videos. I'm going to try to put 1 up a week. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Check us out on theunseen.game.com, and remember, the game is available now. And we're going to be doing some other videos on how to play PvP and some other things. If you like this video, if it was helpful for you, please like, subscribe, post, share. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.